Have you ever pondered what could have been the aftermath if the Simla Agreement between India and Pakistan hadn't been signed? A question of such magnitude, it beckons us to explore the intricate webs of history. The Simla Agreement, an important milestone in Indo-Pak relations, carries a weight that echoes through decades. Its absence might have led to a drastically different geopolitical landscape. So how did we arrive at this pivotal point in history? Let's delve into the course of events that led to this crucial agreement. To comprehend the Simla Agreement, we must first rewind to the events that catalyzed its inception. The year was 1971. The Indian subcontinent was embroiled in a conflict that would leave an indelible mark on its history. The Indo-Pak War of 1971 was a direct consequence of the Bangladesh Liberation War, a conflict born out of political and cultural differences between West Pakistan and East Pakistan, now Bangladesh. As the tensions escalated, an unprecedented refugee crisis unfolded. Millions of Bengalis from East Pakistan sought refuge in India, fleeing the brutalities of the Pakistani military. The sheer scale of this exodus strained India's resources and intensified the already fraught relations between India and Pakistan. In the midst of this humanitarian crisis, the international community was forced to take notice. The United States, a close ally of Pakistan, found itself in a precarious position, caught between its strategic interests and the pressing need for humanitarian intervention. Meanwhile, the Soviet Union, with its friendly ties with India, provided diplomatic and military support, further complicating the geopolitical landscape. The war eventually culminated in the liberation of Bangladesh, marking a decisive victory for India. However, the aftermath was far from simple. The region was left in a state of flux, with unresolved territorial disputes and a complex web of political alliances. In the wake of this turbulent period, the need for a diplomatic resolution was more pressing than ever. The leaders of India and Pakistan, Indira Gandhi and Zulfikar Ali Bhutto respectively, recognized the necessity of dialogue and negotiation. They understood that the path to peace and stability in the region lay not in arms but in diplomacy and mutual understanding. The stage was set for a significant diplomatic rendezvous. In the serene hill station of Simla, India, these leaders would come together to chart a new course for their nations, a course that they hoped would lead to lasting peace and mutual respect. This tumultuous backdrop set the stage for the Simla Agreement. In the summer of 1972, the leaders of India and Pakistan convened in the tranquil hill station of Simla. The echoes of the 1971 war still lingered in the air, and the objective was clear: to turn a new page in Indo-Pak relations, to foster peace where conflict had reigned. The Simla Agreement, signed on July 2nd, was an embodiment of this aspiration. Its central tenet was a mutual commitment to peace. Both India and Pakistan pledged to put an end to the conflict and confrontation that had marred their past. They agreed to work towards the establishment of durable peace, a peace rooted in justice, mutual respect, and understanding. But the agreement was not just about peace. It also emphasized respect for each other's territorial integrity and sovereignty. It was a call for non-interference in the internal affairs of the other. It was an acknowledgement that the principles of the United Nations Charter would guide their future relations. The agreement also addressed the contentious issue of Kashmir, a region that had been a flashpoint of Indo-Pak conflicts since 1947. The leaders agreed to respect the line of control in Jammu and Kashmir, a demarcation line that had been established after the 1971 war. This line was not a final solution to the Kashmir issue, but rather a pledge to resolve it through peaceful means, through bilateral negotiations. The Simla Agreement was a historic moment, a testament to the power of diplomacy and dialogue. It was an attempt to break the cycle of conflict and set a new course for Indo-Pak relations. But like any agreement, its success was not guaranteed. It depended on the political will of the two nations, on their commitment to uphold the principles they had agreed upon. The Simla Agreement was a beacon of hope for peace. But was it successful in its endeavor? The ink on the Simla Agreement was barely dry when its implications began to manifest. The immediate aftermath of the Simla Agreement in July 1972 was marked by a sense of cautious optimism. India and Pakistan had agreed to resolve their differences by peaceful means through bilateral negotiations, a commitment that was seen as a step towards reducing tensions and fostering goodwill. In the short term, the agreement did lead to a relative period of peace between the two countries. The line of control in Jammu and Kashmir, established as part of the agreement, was respected by both sides. Diplomatic ties were restored, and in the following years, there were efforts to improve trade and cultural exchanges. However, the long-term impact of the Simla Agreement on Indo-Pak relations was far from straightforward. The agreement's ambiguity over the final status of Kashmir left room for interpretation and disagreement, leading to renewed tensions and periodic flare-ups. In the 80s, insurgency and violence escalated in the Kashmir region, affecting the bilateral relations adversely. The absence of an explicit resolution on the Kashmir issue in the Simla Agreement became a bone of contention, with Pakistan seeking international intervention contrary to the bilateral nature of the agreement. By the 90s, the relations had strained further due to several factors, including the Kargil War. Despite the Simla Agreement's intent to prevent the use of force to change the status of the line of control, the Kargil conflict saw a military engagement between India and Pakistan in 1999. The Simla Agreement, while a significant diplomatic effort, has not been able to completely resolve the Indo-Pak conflict. Both countries have had periods of relative peace interspersed with bouts of tension and military standoffs. The agreement, though it established a framework for peaceful dialogue, has been challenged by the complexities of the ground realities. In the end, the Simla Agreement served as a blueprint, a guiding principle for Indo-Pak relations, but has not been a panacea. Its impact has been felt, for better or for worse, in the intricate dance of diplomacy, negotiation, and conflict that characterizes the relationship between these two neighbors. The Simla Agreement, for all its promise, has been a subject of heated debate and controversy. One cannot discuss the Simla Agreement without addressing the proverbial elephant in the room, the Kashmir issue. The Simla Agreement, signed in July 1972, sought to establish a durable peace between India and Pakistan following the bloody war of 1971. But it also had a profound impact on the contentious issue of Kashmir. The agreement stated that both countries would respect the line of control, which separates Indian-administered Kashmir from Pakistani-administered Kashmir. This line, unlike the previously established ceasefire line, was intended to be more permanent, effectively turning a de facto border into a de jure one. However, the interpretation of this agreement has been a source of enduring disagreement. India maintains that the Simla Agreement effectively turned the line of control into an international border, thereby affirming its sovereignty over the region. Pakistan, on the other hand, interprets the agreement as merely a temporary measure, pending a final settlement of the issue, which they believe should be based on the will of the Kashmiri people. This divergence in interpretation has led to a sustained dispute over Kashmir, with both countries claiming the region in full, but only controlling parts of it. The situation has been further complicated by the rise of separatist movements within Kashmir, which often advocate for complete independence from both India and Pakistan. Despite numerous attempts to resolve this issue, including bilateral talks and international mediation, the Kashmir issue remains a thorny one. The Simla Agreement, while successful in many respects, has not been able to fully resolve the dispute over Kashmir. This is perhaps a testament to the complexities of geopolitics, where agreements can often be ambiguous and open to interpretation. It also highlights the fact that peace is not just about signing agreements, but also about ensuring that these agreements are understood and respected by all parties involved. The Simla Agreement and the Kashmir issue remain inextricably linked, a testament to the complexities of geopolitics. So we circle back to our initial question: what if the Simla Agreement hadn't been signed? Pondering this, we reflect on the key points we've discussed. The Simla Agreement, despite its criticisms and limitations, played a pivotal role in shaping the Indo-Pak relations. It provided a framework for peaceful discourse, yet left the contentious Kashmir issue unresolved. Its impacts are felt even today in the political, social, and diplomatic dynamics of the two nations. Regardless of its controversies, the Simla Agreement remains an integral part of the Indo-Pak narrative, a piece of history that continues to shape the present.